The first part of tugging is to teach a dog to get it. So you present it to them and you say, get it, and you go left to right, and it warms up their front end and their back end. And if you let them, let's see if she'll dig backwards. Dig, good girl, good dig, good job. And then when you want to stop playing tug, you just hold it still and say, drop it, get it. And the minute she drops it, you go right back at playing. Good job. Make sure you never go up and down, as that could hurt their neck. Left to right is ideal. Ready? Drop it. Good girl. Go get it. The next stretch we're going to do is the puppy bow. To teach it, you have one hand with a cookie. The other hand goes underneath their stomach to prevent them from going into a down position. You lure them as if they're going into a down position. Good boy. And this stretches, let's see, get back into position. This stretches the tricep, the mid-back, the hips, and the hamstrings. And it's a really good stretch to get them warmed up. It's a cool trick to treat. Cool trick to teach. Good boy, good job. Okay, so the next stretch is called the leaning tower. It stretches their hip flexors and their low back. So what you're going to do is you're going to put them on an elevated surface like this and have them lean forward to get the cookie. If their foot moves forward, don't reward them. Lean forward. Good. If your dog's feet keep coming forward, it's because you've been pulling too far towards your body, and you need to do the stretch within their limits. So you'll see with my other dog, it's much more flexible. But yeah, you lean forward like that. You can also do it on a stool. Exact same thing. Lean forward. Ooh, get your cookie. Okay, up. Lean forward. I prefer the bed over the stool. And yeah, so I'm going to show you with Haven. Okay, the next stage is to have them up on a peanut. Have their front feet off. Good girl. And then have them lean forward as much as they can. Haven is very flexible, so she can go pretty far out. Good girl. And these are dynamic stretches, so make sure that you're going out and then back in versus static. We would hold. Out and then in. Good girl. Good job. Good. Up. Good job. Next stretch we're doing is the paw wave. This is pretty easy if your dog already knows paw. So it's going to warm up their front limb. So you're just going to ask for paw. Good boy. Paw. Good boy. Good. Shake. Good job. Shake. Try to make it a little higher so they have to reach up, versus that first one I did was down here and not the best effort. Up. Paw. Shake. Good boy. Good job. So the next exercise is to warm up their neck and spine. It does increase flexibility in their spine. It is circles. This is pretty easy to teach. You just take the cookie, put it at their nose, and you lure them into a circle. Lure them into a circle. The important part is to stay close to their nose and to go slowly. If you go too quickly, the dog has a tendency to jump up at the cookie. You want all four paws to remain on the floor, and make sure you do it on both sides. Good girl. So you notice here she's folding in half as she goes in the circle. Not all dogs can do that. Make sure that every stretch you do is within your own dog's specific limits. So this next exercise also warms up the neck, spine, and tail. It is called the leg weave. To teach it, you're going to have a cookie, put your dog on the side. You're going to step forward and lure them, and then step forward, switch hands, and lure them. And over time, as your dog learns this, try not to go too quickly. Haven's been doing this for a couple years now. You can just cue it. Good girl. Good job, Haven. Yep, and that is a great exercise to warm up the spine, neck, and tail. So this exercise stretches the muscles responsible for lateral movement or stepping sideways. So to train it, you're going to have the dog to the side of you. Cookie's in the hand closest to them. And you're going to push kind of into their rib cage. Step, step, step. Good. You see how he's crossing his feet there? Step. Good boy. Sorry, forgot to give him his cookie. Step. Good boy. So he's crossing his feet, and that's exactly what you're looking for. So this exercise also stretches the muscles responsible for side movement, but I really like it because it isolates the back feet. So you're going to have a stool. You're going to ask the dog to get up. Oh, good girl. And you're going to just kind of walk into them. She really knows this exercise, and you have them step to the side. Now, I'm going to show you Loki to see a dog who doesn't know this exercise very well. Good girl. And then make sure you go both ways. Good job. Good girl. Okay. Okay, so this is Loki. He has a little bit more difficulty with this exercise. And you just ask him to step. Yes, good boy. When you're first teaching this, you might have to go into them a little bit to force their leg to move. You're not going to obviously push too much in pressure, just a little bit of a nudge. And then make sure you do both sides. This is his weaker side, so he's step, step. So I'm kind of pushing into his hip a little bit. Good boy. Good boy. Step, step, step. Good boy. More step. Good job, buddy. Good job. Okay, so this exercise is back up. Back up is very important because not only does it warm up the rear end, but it also teaches rear end awareness. A lot of times dogs have no idea where their butt is. It's just attached to their front, and it kind of goes wherever they go. And this is one of the main causes for injuries in dogs because they have no rear end awareness. So to teach back up, I teach it by kind of invading the dog's space. So I cue him to back up. I kind of, okay, back up. And I kind of walk towards him. Now, if he was a dog who didn't know this, you might have to be very close to his space. I have a yoga mat on the floor because it's helping the dog direct which way he's going. If your dog is just turning and going all over the place, you might need to make a little bit of a channel by maybe putting chairs on the side or whatever equipment you have in your house to prevent your dog from leaving the space. Back up, back up. Good boy. And you want him to take 2 or 3 steps, but you don't want him to scoot. Whoopsie, come on. Back up. You don't want him to scoot back. So some dogs will hop backwards. That's not what you're looking for. You're looking for individual leg movement. Good boy. Good job, buddy. You're so cute. Okay, ready? Back up. Back up. So she tends to scoot. Back up. So if she scoots, we're not allowing it. Back up. Back up. It's okay, honey. Stand. Stand. Back up.
Sorry, something went wrong.
It indeed went wrong. Okay, you ready? Back up. Good job. There you go. So that individual feet motion is what we're looking for. Good girl. Good job. So the next exercise is stand to down, but you must focus on using the Sphinx method of how they lay down. So there are 2 ways a dog can lay down. They can either move their paws forward or they can fold into a Sphinx. And we want them to fold into a Sphinx because it warms up their hips, shoulders, back, and wrists. So you're going to ask for a stand. Stand. So if you've never taught a stand before, you do it using a touch. You put your hand out, touch, and then to teach it, you put your hand out, you wait for them to touch your nose to it, and then they stand up. And over time, just putting your hand out, touch, stand, makes them stand. So, back up, come here, stand, down. So she put her feet out that time. So I'm going to turn around so you can see, down. So that time she folded her legs back, stand, down. Good girl. So she's doing the Sphinx. She's not moving her feet outward. She's just folding down. Stand. Down. Good girl. Stand. Down. Good job, Haven. Good job. Okay. So let's say you have a dog who likes to push his feet out to go into that down. So what you're going to do is put him on a platform and take an oven pan and put it in front of his feet to prevent him from doing that. And then you ask for the down, down, down. So he's struggling. Good boy. Good job. So he didn't move his feet forward. Stand. Good job. Down. Good job. Down. Good boy. So that Sphinx lay is almost as if they're going into the bow first and then bringing their butt down. Stand. Down. Perfect. Good boy. Good job. So I just jackpotted him because that was a really good one. The other ones were kind of sloppy, but that was his first really good one. Good job. Good boy. Okay, so the next one is a sit to a stand. It warms up their hips. So you just ask for a sit. And if you don't know how to do sit, you just take the cookie, lure it backwards, sit, good boy. And then stand, you can lure them forward if they don't know it as well. So sit, boy, yes. Stand, boy, sit. Good job, buddy. Yeah. So the next exercise is called a pop-up. It warms up their rear and their hips as well. So this one is to help warm up a dog, especially if they're going to be jumping a lot. So we use a touch to teach this. So to teach touch, you just put your hand out and wait for them to touch it with their nose. Sit, touch, good girl. Touch, good girl. So, but this is a pop-up. So we're going to raise the touch a little bit higher so that she has to pop up. Pop. Yes, good job. And you want it to be controlled. So pop. If you notice, she comes up with control and she comes down with control. She's not just jumping crazy. Pop. Good job. That was really good. So there she really controlled her pop. Good job. She controlled her movement downwards. Good job, Haven. So the next exercise is to catch a ball, which most dogs can do, but you have to be careful not to throw it too high. You don't want their neck to be extending backwards. This warms up their hips and their rear. In addition, some dogs are very neurotic about balls and they cannot focus on catching said ball. So if that is the case, this might not be the best exercise for you. Ready? Catch. Good girl. So that might have been a little too high because she had to jump off the floor. You want her to keep all her back 2 feet on the floor. This is kind of like the pop where you want it to be a controlled up and a controlled down. So I'm going to throw it a little lower. Get it? Good job. That was perfect, Haven. Good job. So here you go. If your dog won't catch a ball, I use one of these where you put the treat inside of there so she sees that it's in there. And then when I throw it, catch. Good job. That wasn't the best one because she did come off the floor a little bit. Ready? Catch. Perfect. Good girl, Haven.